Yeah, I guess just coming off this 3-game stretch, you guys, West Virginia is always a tough place to play. Coming out of there, another tight ball game. How beneficial has this last stretch been for your team, and what have you been able to see from them?
Well, I think what you can take away from the experience so far this season is a young team playing at the highest level very early. We didn't ramp into anything; we just jumped right into it, and they've weathered the storm a bit, and they've grown up a lot. So I think they've matured a lot faster than they would maybe in a normal season, just because they had to. And I think what we've seen a lot of resiliency. We've seen a lot of just toughness from a young group. And the other side of it, we've seen veterans who know how to lead, who know how to set examples for the young kids. So I've been really happy with where we are. Obviously, we'd love to have more victories right now. We'd like to have more wins on our list, but we've had some really good results. West Virginia is a tough place to go. I think they are a legitimate top 10 team, just fantastic all over the field. And I think we were a little bit shell shocked at the beginning of the match, even though we were playing okay. But I thought we did much better down the stretch when we realized we could compete. We put them under some pressure, and we're getting some opportunities pretty late in that game. So yeah, I've learned a lot about this team. I think they've learned a lot about themselves too, which has been a lot of fun to be part of.
And you mentioned it right there, but just playing a Big 12 schedule right out of the gate, not ramping up to anything. How beneficial is that for your program moving forward?
Well, I mean, you can look long term and see the benefits of it that we're going to have from it long term, right? I mean, there's not a ramping into, it's just jumping into the fire. But short term, we're already seeing benefits. We're seeing girls realizing very quickly that they can play at this level. They've eliminated doubt pretty quickly, whether they could or couldn't compete at this level. And they've eliminated doubt maybe in even some of the veteran players that are wondering, hey, how are these new kids going to come along and how quickly will they come along? So I think they've bonded really well because of it also. And that's a huge piece of what our team is about, is that team chemistry. And I think being put to the fire early has really built this community a lot quicker than maybe it would have in what a different COVID season might look like.
Thanks, Coach.
Lincoln.
All of y'all are a little tilted for some reason. No, Paul, Kansas State, I'm pretty sure they've never lost a Big 12 match when they score 2 minutes in, from my recollection. How happy are you that they are coming off that performance, just if nothing else, to get the attention of your players?
Yeah, I mean, you can obviously, coaches, I think one of the things we're really good at is spin, right? We can spin anything. But I think it is important that our girls see that their team is capable of winning games in the Big 12, because they are. And we know that as coaches. That's not spin. Is that this is a good team. You can go back and look at our history with Kansas State and have never won anything more than by a goal or a tie. We haven't had anything greater than a single goal victory, I think, over them. It's always a tough match, whether it's here or there. I mean, I think the last time they were here, we played up on the football practice field, and during our rainstorms. But, they're a good team. They've got really good players. And what you worry about, a team that hasn't had maybe some success, is, when are they going to peak? When are they going to hit their stride? And them coming off a victory last week shows that they can win in this league, and that they are a good team. They do have quality players, and we need to be ready for that.
Juliana had that game winner in the second overtime last year off a set piece. What else stands out from that trip to Manhattan last year?
It's just always a battle. It's always a tough game. It doesn't matter, where either of us are in the standings. If either of us at the top or bottom of the league, it doesn't matter. It's always a tough game. They fight hard. There's a lot of familiarity within the players themselves, just because of club experience and things like that piques the rivalry more than maybe some people might understand. So there's a lot of competition there that players tend to play at a little bit higher level when they know players on the other side of the field. So it's always a tough match. They're always a good team. They're always up to compete, which sometimes we have an advantage with teams because we compete really hard for an entirety of a match, and I think they're a team that can do that too.
Just being 2/3 into your schedule, was there anything different generally about this week than the first handful so far this season?
I think the only thing different this week is just managing something different. So coming off a long road trip into a short week of training, is the only difference. And I like it. I like challenging our kids. to get out of routine a little bit sometimes. I think it makes us tougher, it makes us stronger, makes us mentally tougher for sure. When we get back to playing 2 games in a weekend, we need to be ready for quick turnarounds. This isn't that quick, but I think it does challenge us a bit to make sure we're doing all the things we need to do to recover our bodies quickly, to be prepared for a tough match here on Thursday night.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
JMO?
I've got a question for Lincoln. Lincoln, is that a new Tesla? It looks different.
No, it's you can tell that I'm not a family man yet because there's no indentations from car seats or anything. But I will say during the pandemic, this is the dirtiest this car has been, just because I do consume food inside of it. But I am plugged in as we speak.
Lincoln, if you would like some indentations on seats, I have some in reserve.
I need to get a roof rack before I babysit your kids.
Yeah, my kids do well on a roof rack. We've tried it.
Paul's got some to share, Lincoln, if you want.
I
Paul,
believe it.
with all the travel protocols that are in place this year, have you seen, is there a huge difference or a moderate difference in home matches versus road matches?
Yeah, I think it's already an advantage being at home over being on the road for sure. That's already that's a normal thing pre-COVID, but I think during COVID it's even more of an advantage being at home. The travel it does wear on you a little bit more. The season isn't long enough to get into a routine of travel to really understand and get used to that. So yeah, I think there is a greater advantage of being at home, even greater than normal during the COVID season, because of all the protocols. And you're on the road. You're not really leaving your hotel to go do anything. No longer are you going on the road and maybe you have an afternoon to see some sights or go do shopping or whatever they like to do in the afternoons. You're pretty much in your hotel, so that can wear on you a bit too.
And does this feel like an especially short week for you, the turnaround from the travel and then playing on Thursday?
Yeah, it does. But one thing I like short weeks after a loss. I think it doesn't give you a ton of time to really think a whole lot about it and get caught up in the loss, because you've got to move forward very, very quickly. And while we lost to a quality opponent, a great opponent, losses can bring you down sometimes. So I think that quick turnaround doesn't allow us to sit in it long at all. And of course, we addressed it right after the match that we had to get prepared for a quick turnaround after a long road trip. And I think the girls have done a really good job of focusing where they need to.